checking. Guys,
Checking,
hi. My name's Kate, and with me is one of my beautiful clients, Amanda Prosser. I ask Amanda Prosser because you've got a couple of last names. Amanda, I met Amanda this time last year, actually, almost to the date. We were just confirming what the date was. And it's funny how what was going on in her life and her business now, so many of those things have actually come true. And even though the course where we did the majority of our work together is quite short, she's kept persisting, kept in touch. And what she's doing today is a far cry, obviously, from how she felt and what was going on 12 months ago. And so I'm going to get her to take you on that journey of some of the things that she's done, how she's felt while she's been doing those things, and what kind of got her to help her make those decisions and actually implement those things as well. So Amanda runs a studio at her house, and she does groups and she does one-on-ones, but she's also a very well-known instructor in Zumba and multiple other disciplines of dance. And now she's been chosen, how would you describe VeraFlow? She's been chosen to be the Australian overall teacher of this special modality of dance.
Yeah. So the VeraFlow program, it was a program that was born in the UK, and it is predominantly taught through the UK, Europe, and America. However, there are classes being taken here in Australia as well. And this program is a dance, stretch, and relaxation class that includes mindfulness and lots of different elements of dance, stretching, yoga, Pilates. So it sort of combines lots of different things to make up what VeraFlow is. VeraFlow meaning Vera meaning true and flow. So finding your true flow is what the program is about. It's a beautiful low impact class, but certainly not boring like some people can find other types of stretching programs. So yeah, it was about this time last year, I think, I was given the role of master trainer for Australia, New Zealand, which was really great. And it's really only been the second half of this year that I've been able to implement that role quite severely. So, yeah.
Severely in a good way.
In a very good way.
Really big, impactful way. Yeah, definitely. Let's get to some of the stories of the things that you've done because first of all, what else can you tell us about what you do and how you help people so that people might say, oh, well, I'm in that position as well, or I was in that position as well, or I am in that position?
So I've taught group fitness classes for around 10 years now, and I've been a personal trainer for 7 years. Once I finished my study in personal training, I only worked for about 6 months for another trainer or another studio until such a time I opened my own business. And right from the word go, I decided I wanted to have an at-home studio. So I did that. I opened it up, and yeah, it wasn't too long before I was fully booked. And I was just doing PT sessions out of my garage. So yeah, that was really cool. And then fast forward a few years on, I moved properties, and I moved out to a large acreage property. And I was very fortunate. I was in a position to be able to build an actual PT studio that was separated from the house, and it's large and beautiful and gorgeous. So I've been operating out of there now for around 2 years. And we'll get to the next part of that story. So that's kind of what I do with the PT side of things. And that houses one-on-one personal training and very, very small group sessions. And then I also teach up to 15 group fitness classes a week in a variety of different programs. And I hire large community halls and school halls to do that. And then now I'm also an online coach, so I get to help coach and personal train people online as well, and that's become a huge passion of mine. And then this year I've implemented the role of master trainer for VeraFlow, so I sort of dive in and out of lots of different things within the health and fitness industry.
Because you're very much one of the creatives. And that's only the tip of the iceberg, folks, because within each of those realms, she's also got 2 or 3 different niches that she services as well, and now a new business with a partner that's in the same industry as well. This is all 12 months on. I mean, if you'd spoken to her, and I do want us to be able to take everybody on a bit of a journey of how it was, what was actually going on before I met you, because the way you are as a person, the way you feel and just even carry yourself and talk now is a little bit different to how it felt. 12 years, 12 months ago.
12 months ago, yeah.
So what was going on?
Well, when I first met you, business-wise, I was just stuck. I was just doing the same stuff I'd been doing for the last kind of 5 years. And although I was enjoying it, I was never getting any further ahead. And I found myself just getting really bored, and not knowing how I was going to ever advance from that or find what it is that I really love to do, let alone make any extra money. So that was kind of what was going on for me business-wise. Personal-wise, I was in a pretty bad place, really. I had started to go through a separation with my husband, so things were really a bit dark there. And I think we'd only been hanging out together with you and I for around, it might have only been 4 weeks, maybe a month, when my husband and I had decided then to separate. And so I went from being in a position of living in a house with him where I had this big, beautiful studio to all of a sudden needing to find somewhere else to live and support myself financially with a business that, I mean, I always have considered, I guess, personal training to be a luxury for people. So I always never felt like my income was guaranteed. And so all of a sudden I found myself in a position where I had to move out. I had to financially support myself. And mentally I was pretty unstable for quite a while there. So all of that happened in the space of about 1 month. And that was at the beginning of like November, December last year. And then in the January, I moved out on my own. And the first 6 months of this year were really quite tough and dark for me, mentally and emotionally. And then it's really only been the last couple of months that I've really started to see some light again, which funnily enough has channeled its way into my business. And here we are.
Always. Through that time, though, you kept going and there kept being support, or we paused you when you needed to, because life happens. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
How many times those kind of situations do arise, actually, especially when, it's life. They arise anyway. And then to try and run a business on top of that, what was so that was the crux really before I met you, was it that you just didn't know how to get any further? But it seems like there were lots of things going on in your life that you needed to get further anyway.
Yeah, and when from what I know now, I know the reason why I wasn't advancing is because I wasn't advancing myself as a person as well, and I was just stuck in this really stagnant, negative space, even though I was on the outside a very positive person. So I know that now, but at the time, business-wise, I just felt really stale, and I found myself, even though I loved what I did, I couldn't see myself doing that forever anymore. And I knew that I was going to get really bored and tired and not have passion for it anymore. And I was starting to find that I wasn't making much money. And I just felt like I needed help.
It's awesome how everything feeds into everything, isn't it? I mean, people think it's a catch-22 and you don't really want your personal life to feed into your business, but of course it does. And how you are as a person always feeds into everything as well when you work for yourself. Yeah. And even when you don't work for yourself, obviously it impacts your work relationships. But it's been amazing to watch the fact that, you gave yourself the space and then you pushed on when you could, and then you gave yourself the space and you pushed on when you could. You're a trooper. So when you were, I think when we spoke, you'd mentioned that you'd worked with people before. I'm not naming names. That's not what I mean. But had you done courses before, and did you get any results, and what happened?
So I have done, with the actual college that I studied at, I'm really grateful with them to have a lifetime education with them. And I do tap in and out of using them for, help and tip and advice and stuff. But it was me that have to make contact with them, So I find them to be fantastic. But there wasn't anything that was pushing me. Once I'd done my study with them, of which I actually did a business diploma specialising in fitness, and then went on to do my advanced business diploma. But once that was done, it was done. And I have also done I think it was a 12-month course with another company as well, and spent an embarrassing amount of money on that. And I actually feel like I never got any sort of result from that at all. I didn't, when I look back at it now, I don't like the way that it was run. I never felt like I gelled with the coach that I got. And even after asking the company for another coach during the time, I wasn't given it. And so I just didn't feel like I got a result with that. And it was a huge waste of time and money.
I've been in the same position. It's all learning at the end of the day, isn't it? And what I've been able to reflect on too is it helps us from the coaching perspective learn how you will do things and how you won't, and how finite and small the actual percentage of amazing customer service is. But it's across the board in all industries. It's not just coaches, it's personal trainers with their clients. Like to actually provide good customer service and when you do, I think you are entitled totally to expect that in return.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So, I mean, all in all, it's a learning experience, but one I wouldn't dive into again.
Because it's an expensive learning experience. So why did you choose to do the course with me after we met?
Well, I think
I didn't know you before we met, though.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos online, and in fact, I think I'd seen it a couple of times. And again, I guess I was just at a point where I was really stuck and stagnant and not sure really what to do. And so I sort of resonated with, the videos that you were putting out, and you were calling on all my pain points. And then I had the chat with you, and I don't know, I just got a really good vibe from it. And I knew that I knew what to do, but I just wasn't able to do it on my own, and I was going to need some coaching towards doing it. So after we had our first phone chat, I just felt like it was the right fit.
So that's good because you knew and you felt it. And I always think that people need to use their intuition. It's totally underestimated, even though we're all some of us are getting burnt. But so skeptically, you've tried it, and then what were some of the immediate wins that you noticed? Because it might be 12 months later that I'm speaking to you now, but this process can take a couple of weeks. And I think, one of my philosophies with you guys is that you have to see some tangible results in a couple of weeks. Otherwise, it's like training a client and expecting them to keep going for 12 months before they lose a dress size or whatever it is that they're actually trying to do. You have to get results virtually straight away. And then obviously it grows and just keeps going within the years to come.
Yeah,
so what were
for sure.
The first wins you had?
Well, it was an interesting time of year, I guess, that I joined with you, because it was right at the end of November. So even though you sort of had a bit of a system as to, what it was that we were to follow at the time, I found that I didn't get the opportunity to follow your system as well as I could have, because we had hit that Christmas time. And so I was really focused in that December month on getting tips for you as to how I was going to have an income over Christmas, because up until last year, really, I've never had a stable income over Christmas, and that stresses me out a lot. Even January, it's really slow to come back again. So I just didn't know how the hell I was going to get an income over Christmas. So we skipped a few steps of the system, I guess, in the beginning, because we went straight to let's make sales for Christmas. And last year was one of the first years that I actually made a reasonable income in the December month, and then straight back into it again for January.
Yay. And I know that just from doing some of the audios I've made for even the free groups that you guys are all still in now, you've done the same thing this month. And because at the time of recording this video, it is 1 week prior to Christmas. So
it is.
And it is
Christmas Eve, I think, in a week. Yeah. So what I found this year, I was, of course, it's been in the forefront of my mind to think of the things that I was going to implement for December, January this year. But I feel way less stressed about it, and I just knew immediately what I was going to do this year. I did get a few extra tips from you for this year as well, but I feel like the three main things that you've given us to do this year, I was already all over it, and I just sort of had to tweak it a little bit. So yeah, so that feels really good just to know that I'm on the right track now.
And then, guys, if you're watching this and you want the recording, I'll make sure that list and that gift of what to do at Christmas is somewhere near this audio recording as well, because it's just the most horrible feeling coming into any holiday season. If you're watching this in another country, any holiday season or any end of program season, then you're like, oh, my 8 weeks is ending, my 12 weeks is ending, and it feels like the world is going to explode or you're going to fall off the flat end of the earth with your income. It's really stressful. Okay, so speaking of the level of support, and even though there was a little bit of a curriculum, I must say everything's always tailored to you anyway. Were you happy with the level of support and that a little bit of a different curriculum approach?
Yeah, definitely. I've loved that we, like in the beginning, the initial 12 weeks, we had those, like was it weekly catch-ups that we did? So it was almost like there was too much support. Like there wasn't enough time between when we chatted for me to get all the things done. So that was really good. I found that, especially when I was going through a really difficult time, that kept me quite focused, because I knew I was going to have to talk to you again and check in on what it is that I was up to. Then after that, it went to the monthly calls, and I've really enjoyed doing the monthly calls with you, because it's just been a way for me to still have some homework throughout the month and then check in with you again another month and go, yep, okay, I tick that off, I tick that off, I tick that off. So it's been, the accountability side of it's been great. I find the Facebook group really, really helpful, because I can just type in there anytime if I need some help, and within sort of the 24-hour period, you're already back to me. Or someone else in the group has replied to me as well. And also the other girls that are in that group too, I find the vibe in there is just really supportive and really fun. And even though everyone's sort of got their own thing going on, everyone's on that same wave of just supporting each other. So yeah, I found the level of support to be, like, the customer service has been higher than anything I've ever experienced in this type of thing.
Yay, thank you. Because yours is as well. So, you know, I'm sure your customers say that as well. So, and that was, we started all that 12 months ago. So fast forward to today, what's life like? Like, you've got even better results. Let's talk income for a little bit, because people do go, oh, well, if the course costs X, I am under the belief that a course should give you at least 10 times the value of what you've paid for it. Sometimes it doesn't show up in the first 4 weeks, but it definitely shows up. Because you know, it's an individual choice of myself to even bring you guys on. So what's going on now, 12 months later? What's life like?
Well, my life is very, very different now, 12 months later. And to be honest, I think, like I mentioned earlier, the first kind of 6 months of this year have been really challenging for me in my personal life. And I needed to take a bit of a back seat on some of the missions and things that I would normally do with you for some time. And it was literally just breathing and getting through the day sometimes and running the day-to-day stuff of my business. But as that's gone on and as that's healed and I've sort of come through the year, right now as it stands, I feel like I'm much more relaxed about my business. I have a clearer vision of what my business is now, and I have way different things going on in my business now than what I did 12 months ago. So I was getting to a point where I was getting quite burnt out and tired of doing like one-on-one training all the time. And although I loved the people that I worked with and I loved coaching them, I just didn't love the actual one-on-one part of it anymore. So I haven't really focused this year on marketing personal training as such. If I had somebody interested, sure, I'd bring them on, but it wasn't something I focused on. One of the best things that I implemented into my business this year, which came from you, was introducing small group training. And I now have 4 time slots on my timetable every single week for group training, and I only allow up to 4 people in these sessions, and it's up to them to book in their preferred session time during the week. I run it in 2 different locations, and I have 3 p.m. slots, 1 a.m. slot happening. So what that's allowed me to do is transition some people from one-on-one training into team training. And what I found was, there were some people that I was training that weren't either able to continue training anymore for financial reasons. So that for them has been better because it was about half the investment. Or I've managed to transition them from one PT session into two team training sessions. So I'm still getting the same amount of investment from them. They're getting double the amount of coaching, but I'm not actually investing more of my time into one-on-one stuff. So as it dates, I've actually only got 2 available spots open out of 16 for team training at the moment, and that's freed up so much time in my life. And I now only train 5 PT sessions a week, one-on-one. That's it.
Amongst, you travel to give seminars overseas, and you're doing workshops and retreats, and you've got an online program. I don't know if we have time to go into all of it. You can if you want, please feel free.
So that's kind of just the PT side of it, and that was the major difference that I made, was introducing that team training, so I can train more people and receive the same amount of dollars but less time in my life. So I actually have more free time now, in the day. I introduced a new group fitness timetable this year, and one of the biggest things that I've always found challenging is allowing other people to help and delegating. So I did start a new relationship this year, and my partner happens to be a trainer as well. And so he is now running some classes for me, which has allowed my group fitness timetable to expand. I can offer more to my clientele without it physically taking more of my body and my time as well. And that's working really well with us working together. We also created or opened up our own brand, our own business as well, which has a totally different niche to what I do. What else have I done this year? I started running retreats as well, which is something about just over 12 months ago. I think it was September last year. I actually went and attended a retreat myself, and I knew that that was something that I wanted to do, but didn't have the know-how at all. So after being coached by you, I started my own retreats, and to date this year I have done 2 weekend retreats and a 1-day retreat. My last one was just this weekend, just gone, which was hugely successful, and I have another one booked in February and for March next year as well. So I'll now be running quarterly weekend long retreats and then 1-day retreats as well. So I found that what I can offer has changed. I'm not just a personal trainer or a group fitness instructor anymore. I've tapped into lots of different skill sets that I've got running workshops and seminars and retreats, and then those within retreats as well. It feels a lot more aligned with who I am as a person rather than just punching out those day-to-day PT sessions. I feel a lot more fulfilled now with what I'm doing.
That is the crux of it, isn't it? There has to be a massive level of fulfillment. At the same time, I was thinking when you were talking about transferring one-on-one to groups, I mean, the big winner there, apart from, okay, it saves us as the coach less time, but the winner is the client at the end of the day. And sometimes those changes are a little bit hard to do, and that was part of systemizing, which is not even really part of the course. That was just something that we did probably just before Christmas, actually, because it suited your business model, because your thing was needing to have more time to do anything else, actually.
Yeah, that's it. And I can just think of a scenario, actually, just last week. I had a very old client of mine. She used to train with me a while ago. She contacted me and wanted to do some training again, but she had some challenges with time restrictions and money. And she came up with what she thought was going to be the perfect solution for her. And I didn't actually agree. I didn't think she would get the results that she's after with what she came up with. So now by being able to have different services and different products available in my business that I didn't have before, I've been able to come up with something that's so much better for her in terms of the results she's going to get that still fits into her budget. And I was never able to offer that before.
Amazing.
Mm.
And may I say that's, you might have done eight out of the possible 15 things that you can do, but that's actually not normal, because Amanda is, so full of energy and likes to focus her stuff everywhere. Everything gets to be, your business gets to be as individual as you. Some people just like to focus on the one project. Some people don't really like doing retreats. It doesn't really matter. Some people are introverts versus extroverts. But what I'm most excited about is that even recently you got asked to present. You tell a story. Didn't you get asked to present overseas because some people have seen your stuff?
So I've had some some interesting opportunities come up for next year as well. And yeah, I'm very grateful for my partner that I now have, and this brand that we've built together, and it's allowed me to expand the opportunities that in the contacts that I have. But yes, I'm going to be presenting at the Live Fit Festival in New Zealand in March next year, and that's a brand new festival that's been created because the New Zealand Fitness Expo went bust. It's no longer a thing. So this is kind of the new New Zealand Fitness Expo, but it's more around, it's not focused just at gym instructors or personal trainers. It's for anybody who wants to attend this. So I'm actually going to be presenting there a VeraFlow session now as the master trainer for Australia, New Zealand. And also I have a class there with my partner, Jared. And I forgot to mention, just this year, we created our own program called Hustle. And we've been invited to present our very own program at the Live Fit Festival. So that's really cool. And another opportunity that came about is we have been in contact with a guy who he lives in the Maldives, and he saw that I did retreats, and so he made contact and has opened a travel agency with his wife in the Maldives to get people to visit the Maldives for retreats. So we've been invited to run a retreat in the Maldives next year, all expenses paid. All we've got to do is just get there. So we're still in conversation at the moment as to the logistics of that, but all these different opportunities are arising from doing all the things this year.
Needless to say, the income's gone up. Notice, guys, we haven't actually even spoken about income. I mean, I know most females don't do this job for the income. They do it because they love what they do, and then all of a sudden the love starts to go and they're not getting rewarded financially anyway. And of course, accidentally, that's gone up too. So
accidentally.
Not accidentally. She definitely counts it, and that's part of what needs to be done. But you have to be accountable to yourself. Is there anything else that you want to share? That's amazing. I forgot about the Maldives. No, everybody watching can't go because she's already full, because we've all taken it. Everybody in the group's
Yeah, that's it. I guess it's sort of just mind-blowing how different my outlook is on my business now, I guess. And I feel a lot more relaxed as a person. Even the way that I communicate things online now and advertise my business is totally, totally different. I feel less desperate for the sale and more just it's coming at me through a place of I've manifested that. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great.
Yes, my job is done. That's how everybody gets to feel, that it's totally aligned. Forgive me for using that word. You know what I mean? It's totally what you want to do.
Yeah, and I guess I just feel like not so close-minded about what it is that I'm capable of doing. Like I actually just had a conversation last night about with my partner Jared about so at the moment I'm about to close for Christmas my face-to-face classes and PT sessions, and I'm closed for 3 weeks. And we thought about in the new year how our clients are going to feel with us not being around for 3 weeks' time. And so we have a couple of days before he has to travel to Miami for his work in January that we're still going to be closed for. So we decided to open up a 2.5 hour class/workshop with us on the 4th of January, and it's like a New Year thing, and we've created a whole workshop around what our strengths and skill sets are. We mentioned it just to our class last night just to sort of get some feedback, and they were like, oh my God, yes, please, we don't know what we're going to do without you, and yes, we would love a 2.5-hour workshop about this and this and this. And so straight away we've put the Eventbrite event up today. It's live, Facebook ready to go, ticket sales are already up, and just knowing that being able to create these things through skill sets we didn't know people wanted, and being able to make money through those things as well, that you're actually helping people, is really cool. Like, I never would have thought of just doing a pop-up event even when I'm closed.
It's making my heart so proud. Yeah. But you put it perfectly, actually. I'm so happy for you and that you get to enjoy your business.
Yeah, it just feels a lot more fun now.
It does. Oh, anyway. Guys, if you've got, you're making me cry. Guys, if you've ever got any questions in regards to Amanda or myself, drop them below. Send either of us a message. I'm sure she might be able to take you to the Maldives for her next retreat, or to the beautiful Sunshine Coast in Australia for one of her other retreats that she does, or maybe you could go to one of her events. If you're in New Zealand, you can see her there. We'll just put her contact details below. You're going to need some admin help with all the inquiries of, let's just get around this girl. And again, like normal business things, if you have any questions in relation to what the gaps are in your business, drop me a line. Christmas, any holiday season, it doesn't really matter. Your clients will still buy things. You just have to learn to offer them. Thank you so much for your time, Amanda.
Welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for everything you've helped me with.
My pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I will talk to you and you guys soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Kate. Bye.